Well, hi everyone. Welcome back to Missouri River Bottom. It is the first part of September here. We got out of August and we got rain. Oh my gosh, did we get rain? So I'm gonna hop in the truck. We'll head down to the field there that we were doing wheat and stuff in, and show you what ended up happening. Um, we got all the transport trucks back. Um, Field went a little over 150 bushel to the acre, which is bloody awesome. We'll take that. And they almost got all the straw bales off. Almost. Um, the two trucks, they decided to just leave them here. I've got a storage barn that Rocky's left down there, right across the road, that we ended up using it to put everything in. So the combine, the two transport truck bales on it, um, the baler, the Marcusen, and then the customer that's taking the bales actually ended up showing up with a 7R tractor and one of the bale accumulators. Um, Anderson, looked like it was from. So he ended up going to town and trying to get as many bales off the field as possible and just getting it undercover in the storage shed. Um, so they got almost all of it. I think he said there were 9 bales left, which was pretty good compared to what were on that field in there, and they had a ton of bales. So it was a hard press for them. While they were doing that, I made sure to get the Zarian and the grain buggy back over to the dealership. Um, the combine, we ended up just sticking it in the coverall here at the same point, just to get it out of the weather. You can see how the weeds have started popping up in here, but there's a few bales on that north end. We're going to have some rain on it. I think with the net wrapping, it's probably going to be okay, but they definitely got rained on. The setup here, you'll be able to see it. So the two trucks still in here, combine and header, all the bales, and a lot of them ended up falling over just because of the way that they got pushed in here, but they'll end up coming in with the loader and just picking everything up. Um, this is the replacement tractor for the little 4713 that Rocky ended up buying. He didn't like it. They ended up keeping it, so they had this one sitting on the lot with the loader. So he ended up going with this. Obviously the baler and then the thing behind it, but this was the Anderson unit they were using to pick the bales up, and this 7R 350. So they showed up and went to town and say they got all of these bales off. So I believe it's 24 bales um, per load, and I think they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loads of 24. So there was a ton of bales on there, plus what we had over here on the trailer. So uh, we're gonna get a pretty good payday off of that, which is awesome. But as I say, it's too wet to do a whole lot here. Um, we were hoping that we could maybe get this worked and get some covers going in on it, but it's not going to work today. So what I'm going to do is we'll take the truck over to the dealership. They've got some of the equipment sitting there that's proposed for us to make a flip with here as we come into fall. Rocky wanted me to go over and check it. He's busy with his wife and daughter today, so that wasn't going to work. But he wanted me to do it, so we're going to go over and see this. And I'm hoping, I don't think we got quite as much back around the home farm there. I'm going to grab one of the tractors and we'll take the mower conditioner back over there and get that field, I think it's field 11, cut and tedded right now so that we can let it bake in the sun for a little bit this afternoon and try and make some dry hay off of it, because the 3 horse farms that are local here, they've all put a request in for some new um, dry hay coming to the farm. So we'll work away at that here once we get this done. But this is what we're looking at here. So what we'd be trading is the two gleaners, the two heads, the 8410, which I actually ended up putting back in behind the barn here last night. So the 8410 and this Demco grain buggy. And then we'd be trading the 8110 with the loader on it. And what they're proposing is around here at the front. So we would keep the Lexion with the 50-foot grain head, the MacDon F250. 12 row corn head for that, because we're planting 24. I want to try and keep everything as even as possible. An 18 on a 24 doesn't make a lot of sense, and I don't know if we could keep it away. So we would do that. There's the option of doing this 12650 Zarian in replace of the 9, I think it's a 9570R track unit, the Demco buggy, and there's two of them here. They're both demo units, so we can pick which one we'd like. The other option would be to go to smaller Zarian. This is a 500 Zarian, 530 horsepower, so that's another option instead of going with the big one. This one doesn't necessarily replace the 9R is the problem. So those are two choices. And then down the side here, this would be the Arian 660, which would be the replacement for the 8110 with the loader on it. And the Axion 960 half track, that would be the replacement for the 8410. The Deere portion of the business is trying to get us to flip the two planters. We have a 1775 now, and they'd be going to the new version. The Kloss dealership is wanting us to try and see what we think of this Horsch Pronto instead of the 450 drill. And then Deere thinks that we should look at maybe going to one of the new 8R 410 EVTs instead of the IVTs, so it's electric drive. And then they've offered to throw in the Summers chisel. Ours is more of a cultivator with the Lemkins. I'm thinking this actually might be a good thing for our plowing standpoint. So that's what everyone's throwing at us. There's lots of options that we can look at here. Basically, if I was to do all of the Kloss for the Deere and go with the 12 versus the 5000 Zarian, we're looking at about 850,000 difference. And everyone's going to go, holy crap, yes, and you're right, it's a lot of money. But I think what we would probably do is I think that the combine and the tractor, I think we would probably lease it and use that to offset that price difference and go with that instead. So we'll have to see here. Rocky wants to sit down with me after we've checked everything out and really think about how we want to progress for this fall. He had 4 out of the 8 farmers that own the local area dirt around here to the north and to the south that we don't currently own, and they're looking for custom work, potentially going into share crop or possibly even buying them out. And we're gonna have to do something because the older stuff just is not gonna cut it. So I think for now what we're gonna do is we'll grab the Massey here, throw the mower on it, we'll run back up to the home farm and hopefully be able to cut some of that grassland that's there, and we'll start with that today and sort of see where things go from there. But I guess before we go, we should hop in the cabs here so everybody can see what we got. So we've already been in the 12, but I'll hop in it quick. So this is the new 12 cab looks very glossy. It's just sort of the way that everything is run for them, which is nice. It's common. And if we come out and we go to the 5000s area, looks fairly similar. A little bit smaller cab, but fairly similar. This does have the rotating cab on it if you wanted to, but this one looks like it has the weight blocks on the back, so I don't know if it would actually rotate or not. But 500 horse is a tad bit small for that Summers chisel plow if we were to go that way. And we know the Demco, obviously. The little Arian, 220 horsepower Arian. It's amazing how the horsepower has gotten a little bit smaller compared to that 8110 that used to put out that much. So again, it's cloth, it's common. The whole thing looks exactly the same as what everything else does. Now, it has the GPS in it too, which is probably going to be flipped to deer. We would probably keep it that way, just because Rocky's got all the stuff for that to make everything work with his agronomy stuff and everything like that. But right now they've got these in it, which is no big deal to take out. But then again, the Axion, and it looks the same. Be a heck of a planter tractor. So anyways, that's what they look like inside. They all look fairly similar, but as we've driven that 12, it was a very nice machine. Very nice machine. Rocky, your choice, my friend. Okay, let's head back to the yard. See what the weather's going to let us do here. But I'll see you in a minute once we get back up. Okay, well, we're just getting back into back into the yard here. I ended up, the baling crew and the truck guys, they all just showed up right when I was leaving, so I ended up having a chat for a little bit. So we're coming on to 9 o'clock here now, but they're gonna give it 4 or 5 hours, maybe after lunch, come back in and see if they can't get those trucks out and unloaded and try and get rid of that straw off of that field if they possibly can. So yeah, so this is all this down here we can cut technically, but I believe the actual field is back up in behind. Actually, maybe gonna have to look at the map here. We gotta go all the way back through. We can cut all this too, but we'll do that later. Patch back in here. Nice, actually. Right, here we go. All right, well, if we fold out and the blinky lights and everything off, let's get some auto steer figured out here. We'll make 4 around. Might even need more than that. Might even need to go 6 around. Be able to get turned back. Good there. So we H over down in, and we're cutting. So we'll come around and do the back part of it after. I always do one cut here first, and then after we get 2 or 3 knocked around, then I'll come back around and cut down along the edge here and get everything cut back up. So push it there on the river. What a beautiful area back in the fog. Oh, no, this will make some good hay here. grass. Well, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? I wonder if it's because of being along the river, or if it's actually something that's wrong with the mower. It's just check here. Just being on the river there. Okay, well, let's maybe just keep going. So it's just in a bad spot with the way the field is set up. There we go. Okay, we're rolling. Okay, sharp turn here so we can not miss anything. Alright, let's get cutting here. This is a pretty big field considering it's just a grass field, so I actually don't know what the acreage is. It's where should we do this? So it's 30, just about 36 and a half acres. So there'll be some good amount of grass here to be able to ted it out, and we're gonna make it into small, probably make it into the majority of it into small squares. 460, I believe, is the truckload, so we'll end up trying to do double that, and then put them through the Yakuza and get them all merged up, and we'll end up taking those 2 truckloads to the basically the 3 farms, and they're dying for stuff right at the moment, so we're not going to gouge them, but at the same point, supply and demand, if we can make some good money doing this, then we're going to, and that's the niche market that we've got in this area. Is these horse farmers want good quality dry hay, and if we can do this, it doesn't look like there's any rain in the forecast, so if we get this tedded out today, we might be able to even bale it by the end of the day if the temperatures go up to 28 like they're showing here. So that would be awesome. So I had a comment in one of the last videos, actually it was the first video of this series, and he said it looks like basically the whole map is purchased, and if you're following the story, yes, we, Rocky, own the majority of this land in this area, other than I think there's 21 or 22 fields that are part of other farms, and those are the ones that we're looking at possibly sharecropping and doing some other things with in the future. So yes, we do own the majority of this map, but it's not just a starting let's play. This is a farm that's been in business for years, and they own all this ground and they are farming it. So I just wanted to clarify that with the people that are watching, and that's what this storyline is that this is an existing farm that's been in Rocky's family for the last 3 generations, and he's got it to where it's at today, and he's hoping to be able to get it to more if there's opportunity to be able to do so. So there you go. Okay, so that's the first pass. Up here, it's kind of hard. The second one here, and then on on the next one, we'll turn around and go around on the outside of it. We're far enough away from the creek, so it looks okay here. And it doesn't. It may not on the inside pass, but that's all right. We'll get it figured out. Yeah, see there, stop. So it's just got to be a spot within the map. Hopefully they could do an update and get that part of it fixed. And end up being a great big glob of grass up here at some point. Right here, I'm guessing. There you go, right there. We'll get that fixed better with me. Come around with it. So here we will square this up. Go. A screenshot for a thumbnail. Perfect. So the beans and corn, I was looking at them earlier this morning, I guess, before we 7:30 before we got onto this this episode, and I think it's going to be we're maybe 4 weeks away from bean and corn harvest. There's a couple fields of corn that were planted a little bit later, so they may be pushing it a little bit longer, but I think we're looking at first of October for a lot of that, and then the plan is to get cover crops put into the wheat field. Then they can come in the spring with the anhydrous and put our spring nitrogen source down, and that'll get corn into that field for next year. One of the soybean fields, again, the first one that comes off, we'll end up putting it into a field of wheat, probably around that 90 to 100 acres, again, the same as what we had in this one. It just seems to be about the right acreage to be able to do some of these contracts for people that are looking for it. There are a bunch of beef barns in this county that don't do a lot of their own stuff. They buy it from Rocky. So that's what we'll end up doing with the straw, and that's where the guys that are picking up right now, they're one of the big beef lots here, sort of in the southwest corner of this county. And so we'll swing around and do that other side pass around the next one, and then we'll get three more laps, and that'll get us to the headlands done, and then I'll end up keep going on this as I can until we start the next episode. Work well. Swing into the grass on the side here. said? GPS didn't work yet. All right, well, that'll clean up the outside of this part of the field, and pulling on some extra passes here to make sure that we get this thing after. So I guess I want to say thanks to everyone that's watching again, and I know I do this all the time, but this channel's growing. There's people watching all of a sudden, and I appreciate you doing so. If you're enjoying the videos, like and subscribe. It would really help me and the channel out to keep moving and to show that people are enjoying it more than just watching a couple minutes of a video here. I play realistic, and that's the one comment about the fields being all old. It's a real farm. I play realistic on how all of this is done, where you try not to drive on things and stuff like that. So I hope people can appreciate that as to what I'm trying to do here. But if it's not for you, then I understand that as well. So yeah, I just throw the comments down below if it's something different that you'd like to see or whatever. I mean, I'll try and fit it into the game if I can, but I'm going to play the way that I like to play. And so far we're doing that with all the videos we've done here on Frankenbooth. So with that, I hope everyone's enjoying these videos. I'm enjoying making them for you, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.